You want power, real power, not applause, not respect, not influence wrapped in weakness. I'm talking about the kind of power that bends rooms when you walk in, the kind that whispers louder than men shouting. If that's what you want, forget everything they taught you about being open, transparent, vulnerable. That's a blueprint for being dissected, used, and discarded. Powerful people understand a brutal truth. The moment you reveal too much, you hand your enemies the manual to destroy you. You give them targets, you give them timing, you give them access. And that, my friend, is the opposite of control. Understand this. Power is not loud, it's not boastful, it's not desperate for recognition. True power is calculated silence. It's unreadable composure. It's a fortress built from secrets and controlled appearances. Power doesn't ask to be understood. It demands to be respected. That respect is born from mystery, from the unknown, from the fear that people just can't figure you out. That's what makes you dangerous. You do not owe anyone access to your internal world. You do not explain. You do not justify. You operate quietly, strategically, precisely. You want to be untouchable? Then stop narrating your every move like a man begging for validation. The less they know, the more they fear. Comment this right now if you understand the frequency we're tapping into. I am unreadable, therefore I am unbreakable. Say it again and mean it. And you're no longer here to be seen. You're here to become inevitable. Their tactics remain unseen. Powerful men manipulate. Yes, they influence, they persuade, they bend reality. But they'll never admit it, not because they're ashamed, because they understand this. The moment someone knows you're influencing them, they stop listening. Influence dies under exposure. Strategic persuasion only works when it feels organic, natural, unforced. And the ones who truly understand control never confess that they're the ones behind the curtain. That's amateur behavior. That's ego looking for credit. The elite don't want credit, they want compliance. They don't want applause, they want submission, confusion, obedience. Quiet, seamless influence that looks like coincidence. That's real power. You'll never hear a powerful man admit he mirrors behavior to build rapport. You'll never catch him boasting about how he frames conversations to manipulate outcomes. He'll never say out loud that he withholds compliments to keep others chasing his approval. Why? Because once you label the tactic, the spell breaks. The power of manipulation is its invisibility. The art is in making people believe it was their choice all along. The moment you reveal the trick, you reduce yourself to a magician begging for attention instead of a strategist pulling strings from behind the scenes. Understand this. Power isn't in the tactic. It's in how well you hide the fact that you're using it. The powerful exploit psychological patterns: scarcity, reciprocity, silence, pressure, reward. But they do it through tone, timing, and presence, not through bragging. Manipulation is not about lying. It's about engineering outcomes without resistance. You let others talk, you listen, you probe. You plant ideas so subtly they believe they thought of it. You don't argue, you redirect. You don't demand. You create conditions where your desire becomes the only logical outcome. That's persuasion at the highest level. That's control without confrontation. Weak men talk about influence. They read scripts. They rehearse dominance. They post tactics like badges. And in doing so, they destroy their edge. Because once the target knows there's a game being played, the walls go up. The mind resists. The strategy collapses. The powerful don't play that game. Their manipulation is too subtle to detect, too refined to trace, and too embedded to question. You want to be feared in silence, influence without alerting, guide without appearing to lead. That's how kings move, quietly shaping realities while others believe they're making free choices. Comment this now if you understand that influence is most powerful when invisible. I shape outcomes. I never show the hand that moves them. This is Psygorithm, the realm where control is layered, subtle, and silent. You're not here to explain your methods. You're here to embed them. No one needs to know you're manipulating, only that they keep saying yes. Remember this, once they know you're in control, they'll resist. But if they never realize it, they'll follow you willingly into exactly the future you've chosen. Their true desires. The most powerful men on this planet walk among you with a calm face, yet their minds burn with exact, ruthless desire. But you'll never hear them speak it. Because once the world knows what you truly want, it knows how to hurt you, how to bait you, how to stop you. Powerful men bury their ambitions deep, beneath layers of casual indifference and deliberate misdirection. You ask them their goals, they shrug. You ask them what drives them, they smile. But underneath that still surface is a war map. Objectives, deadlines, strategies, all of it locked in a vault no one touches, because desire is leverage. When you reveal what you crave, money, status, revenge, validation, you give people a way to puppet your decisions. They can offer fake opportunities, empty praise, fake loyalty, just to bend your will. And most men, they fall for it. They wear their hunger on their sleeves. They think speaking their dreams into existence makes them bold. It doesn't. It makes them predictable. The elite know better. They speak in riddles. They let others assume. Meanwhile, they operate in silence, move in the dark, climb without noise, because the most dangerous ambition is the one no one sees coming. You want to win? Starve the world of your intentions. Want power? Never tell them what form it will take. Never tell them what keeps you up at night. Never reveal what you die to achieve. Because the moment you do, someone out there starts rehearsing how to take it from you. Even those close to you, especially them, not out of hate, but out of envy. Weak men don't want to see someone become what they couldn't, and your spoken dreams remind them of everything they failed to build, so they smile while they sabotage. You want a rule to live by? Here it is. Let them think you want nothing. Let them think you've already arrived. That's when you're most dangerous. Comment this below to seal the code. I hide my hunger. I move like I already own it. From this point forward, your desires are no one's business. They're your weapon. Keep it sheathed until it's too late to stop you. They're emotional weak points. The moment you let someone see what stings you, what rattles you, what tears you apart, you're no longer in control. You've just handed over the control panel to your psyche. The powerful never let this happen. They guard their emotional weaknesses like classified intel because they know how the world works. People are kind when it's convenient, but when pressure hits, when egos clash, when envy creeps in, those same people will go straight for your exposed nerves. It's not always malice. Sometimes it's subconscious, but the result is the same. You get played. Emotional transparency is a myth sold to weak men under the banner of authenticity. But power doesn't care if you're authentic. It only cares if you're in command. You think you're being real when you tell people what hurts you, what scares you, what gets under your skin. But in reality, you're handing them a manual on how to control you. The powerful do not reveal what triggers them. They process it internally, in silence, behind closed doors. Because once your enemy knows where to aim, the fight is already over. You must become unreadable. A man who doesn't blink under insult, doesn't fold under pressure, and doesn't explode when pushed. Let them wonder what bothers you. Let them guess. Confusion is a shield. Mystery is a sword. This doesn't mean you lack emotion, it means you own it. You feel anger? Good. Use it. You feel sadness? Channel it. But you never show it. Not to the public, not to your rivals, not even to those closest to you. Because today's friend can become tomorrow's liability. Power is not about connection, it's about insulation. You want to master the room? Then master yourself. You want to dominate outcomes? Then dominate your reactions. Be the man they can't provoke. Be the presence that makes others adjust. And remember this, your enemy doesn't need to beat you if they can make you beat yourself. Comment this if you've decided to become unreadable. My emotions are mine. No one else holds the leash. Silence is not weakness. It's weaponized restraint. They'll try to test you, let them. And when they see nothing, they'll feel everything. Their next move. Powerful men never reveal their next move. Not because they're indecisive, because they're surgical. Predictability is a weakness. When people know what you're going to do next, they begin rehearsing their counter before you even move. That's suicide in the game of power. Your next step, your strategy, your intent, your direction must be a locked vault. not a public speech. The world is addicted to sharing. They tell everyone what they're planning, where they're going, how they'll get there, and while they talk, the wolves listen. Not to support, but to prepare their traps. That's the reality. Most men want attention more than they want victory. They crave applause more than results. But the powerful, they move in absolute silence. No announcement, no warning, no build-up, just the blow. You see, power is not just about action. It's about timing. And timing only works when no one sees it coming. When your next move is hidden, you hold the advantage. Your enemy watches, waits, tries to predict, but they can't. You become a ghost, visible yet unknowable, present but unreadable. This confuses them, frustrates them, makes them hesitate. And in war, any war, hesitation is death. The sharpest players in history made moves so silent their enemies were crushed before they even knew a game had started. And yet, here you are, updating your surroundings, oversharing with friends, letting emotions leak into your strategy. That's a luxury you can't afford. Not if you want real power. Not if you want to be untouchable. You want a code? Here it is. Say nothing. Move everything. Don't explain. Don't announce. Don't even hint. Let them think you're still when you're preparing an ambush. Let them believe you've quit when you're building the strike. That's how power plays the game. Not with noise, but with shock. And when you do make your move, make it final, swift, clean, without explanation or apology. Because the man who moves without warning doesn't just win, he rewrites the rules mid-game. And no one sees it coming. Comment this if you understand what must stay buried. I say nothing. I strike without echo. Type it and internalize it. From now on, every step you take should be seen only after it's too late to stop it. That's real power. That's mental warfare. They don't deserve to know what you're doing. They deserve to feel the consequence of your silence. Their past failures. Weak men romanticize their past failures. They talk about them as if pain itself deserves applause, as if the world owes them something for surviving what others didn't even see. But powerful men, they bury their failures deep, not out of shame but out of discipline, because they understand something the average man never will. The moment you reveal where you've bled, you show people where to cut. You think your story is inspiring. You think opening up about your past mistakes makes you human, relatable, noble. It doesn't. It makes you vulnerable, and vulnerability in the wrong hands becomes leverage. Power doesn't confess. It absorbs, it learns, it evolves, but it doesn't perform therapy sessions for public consumption. The world is not your healer. It's a marketplace of predators, and when you put your scars on display, you're advertising your weak points. Don't be fooled by the self-help circus preaching that your story is your strength. That's a sales pitch, not strategy. In power dynamics, your story is a liability, one that can be twisted, weaponized, used to discredit or destabilize you at the exact moment when control matters most. The powerful don't talk about their failures. They build over them, layer by layer, until the past is no longer visible. What looks like perfection isn't the absence of pain, it's the mastery of silence. And here's the truth most can't handle. Most people don't care about your struggles. They just want to measure them against their own. They want to see if they can still outrank you emotionally, socially, psychologically. They pretend to admire your perseverance, but deep down, they're making mental notes on where to strike when the balance shifts. You think you're bonding. You're actually leaking data. The man who reveals his past defeats is begging for trust. The man who conceals them commands respect, not because he's perfect, but because he refuses to let weakness become his identity. He doesn't cry about the fire he walked through. He becomes the fire. So next time you're tempted to share that story, that moment, that breakdown, pause. Ask yourself this: does this strengthen my position or weaken it? If it doesn't build leverage, it builds exposure. Power doesn't look backward. It extracts the lesson, then erases the evidence. Comment this now if you're done being emotionally naked for people who haven't earned your truth. My past is locked. My power is now. Silence isn't repression, it's refinement. You didn't survive your failures to make them public property. You survived to turn them into quiet weapons, not loud confessions. Keep your history behind a vault door. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them imagine you never failed at all. And when they finally see your rise, let it be so clean, so surgical, so polished. They'll never believe you were ever on your knees. Their financial details. A powerful man doesn't talk about his money, not how much he has, not where it comes from, and definitely not how he multiplies it. Because once you reveal your financial structure, you open the floodgates to three things: envy, exposure, and sabotage. You become a target, not just for parasites and opportunists, but for competitors, regulators, and enemies you didn't even know you had. The moment someone knows what you're worth, they stop seeing you as a man and start seeing you as a number, a figure to beat, to beg from, or to destroy. And if they know how you make it, that number becomes their obsession. They'll copy, corrupt, or compete, anything to shrink your advantage. That's why the elite move in silence. Their bank accounts, their income streams, their equity positions, their off-book holdings, it's all sealed behind layers of misdirection and control. Because wealth doesn't just attract attention, it provokes war. The man who brags about his success today is the man who gets audited, betrayed, robbed, or ruined tomorrow. Look around. How many men destroy themselves trying to prove they're rich, flashing luxury like it's armor, drowning in liabilities just to look like kings? That isn't power, it's financial cosplay. The real players are invisible. They live beneath their means. They smile when people underestimate them. They know the true game is played in shadows, not spotlights. Their net worth isn't a topic, it's a weapon. It fuels their moves, not their ego. You'll never hear them tell you where the money comes from. You'll never see a pie chart of their investments. You'll never get access to the system behind the face. Because the moment you expose your financial engine, you give someone the blueprint to outmaneuver you or destroy you. Silence isn't just protection, it's positioning. Let others flex. Let them post their watches, their cars, their fabricated net worth. You build quietly. You stack quietly. You move your capital like a ghost. No trail, no noise, no pattern. Let them wonder how you fund your life. Let them assume you're modest. Let them believe you're just lucky. Meanwhile, you're building a war chest big enough to outlast, outspend, and outmaneuver anyone in your path. That's how power moves, unseen but undeniable. And if they ever ask what you earn, you give them fog, you deflect, you laugh, but you never answer. Because that number, whatever it is, becomes their obsession. And obsession leads to either imitation or sabotage, both of which are threats to your dominance. Comment this below if you understand that wealth whispers and fools shout. My value is hidden. My wealth moves in silence. From this moment forward, your financials are locked. They are no one's business. Not your friends, not your family, not even your reflection. You don't chase praise for your earnings. You build fortresses with them, quietly, patiently, ruthlessly. And when the world finally feels your impact, they still won't know what funded it. Their sources of power. Powerful men don't reveal where their strength comes from. Not their resources, not their alliances, not their methods. Because the moment you show the engine, someone starts plotting how to sabotage the machine. Understand this. True power is not just the ability to act, it's the ability to act without being traced. When you expose your source of leverage, you're giving the world a single point of failure. And someone, somewhere, is always watching, waiting, calculating how to pull the plug. Most men can be dismantled in seconds because they're too eager to prove how capable they are. They flaunt their connections, their mentors, their systems, their routines. They want to be seen as powerful, so they give away the very structures that make them that way. That's not strength, that's self-sabotage wrapped in ego. The powerful do the opposite. They operate behind layers. Their strength appears as instinct, luck, presence. No one sees the supply line. No one sees the engine room. They don't give speeches about who helped them. They don't explain what book they read. They don't hand over the mental software running in the background. Why? Because it's none of your damn business. And because it's the only thing keeping them untouchable. Let people assume. Let them think you were born with it. Let them wonder if it's talent, timing, or pure force of will. But never ever let them see the formula. You don't show the source, you guard it. The people, tools, and frameworks that feed your dominance must be hidden like state secrets. You don't post them, you don't parade them, you don't thank them publicly. Loyalty dies in the spotlight, and envy is born when others realize they don't have what you have. If you've got a mentor, shield him. If you've got a system, bury it. If you've found an edge in psychology, strategy, leverage, keep it sacred, because once it's exposed, it's neutralized. Power thrives in asymmetry. When they don't know how you're winning, they can't imitate, and what they can't imitate, they can't compete with. That's when the gap between you and them becomes permanent. That's when you shift from being admired to being feared, because no one fears what they can replicate. They fear what they can't explain. Comment this now if you understand the value of secrecy. My power is protected. My edge is invisible. Stop advertising your arsenal. Stop putting your strategy on display like it's free content. Power is not performance. It's preservation. You didn't build your mind to hand out the blueprint. You didn't survive your path to make it public. You built in silence. You learned in silence. You rose in silence. Now stay silent, and let your existence be the proof that something lethal is running beneath the surface. Their long-term strategy. The powerful never reveal the endgame. Never. Because once people see the destination, they begin constructing roadblocks. They analyze your movements. They anticipate your plays. They try to collapse the path before you arrive. That's why long-term strategy, your final form, your total vision, must remain unspoken, unseen, and unimaginable. The moment you let others glimpse your future, you give them the chance to corrupt it. Not always directly. Sometimes it's subtle, a distraction, a suggestion, a redirection that poisons the original blueprint. And just like that, you're off course. The powerful don't allow that. They hold the full map in their mind and show the world only the next few steps. Just enough to keep the illusion of transparency. Just enough to stay believable, but never enough to be stopped. You want to win in the long game, then adopt this mindset permanently. The fewer people who understand your destination, the safer it becomes. Strategy thrives in shadows. Your long-term vision isn't for friends, mentors, or the crowd. It's for you, and only you. Because once it escapes your mind, it becomes vulnerable to interpretation, dilution, and sabotage. You don't need validation for your vision. You need precision in silence. Watch the chessboard, not the crowd. The amateur plays for applause. The master plays for checkmate in 20 moves no one sees coming. That's how real power operates. Decades ahead, with surgical steps, and no need to explain anything to anyone. Let others show their business plans, their 5-year goals, their detailed roadmaps. Let them put on the PowerPoint. All they're doing is giving their opponents a battle plan. Meanwhile, you shift in silence. You let others misread you, underestimate you, even forget you. Because invisibility isn't failure. It's advantage. It's the highest form of positioning. Every empire built to last was planned in silence and launched with shock. The architects didn't ask for permission. They didn't look for encouragement. They built with a cold, detached focus and a time horizon too long for the average man to even comprehend. That's how you must think. If your vision can be explained in one sentence, it's too small. If everyone understands it, it's too shallow. Keep your grand design locked away. Share fragments, misdirections, smoke, but never the blueprint. Never. And when they ask what your plan is, you give them dust. A joke, a deflection, a half answer that leads nowhere. Because your real moves are already in motion, just not where they're looking. Comment this if you understand the power of private purpose. My vision is mine alone. My silence protects my empire. Where strategy isn't discussed, it's deployed. The game isn't played in weeks, it's played in decades. And the man who wins isn't the loudest. It's the one no one saw coming. Your long-term plan isn't a brand, it's a weapon. And the more hidden it stays, the more lethal it becomes. The final law. Don't reveal that you know this. If you've absorbed everything so far, good. But this last piece separates the tactician from the ghost. Never reveal that you know the game. Never. The moment they suspect you're calculating, reading them, manipulating, strategizing. They pull away, they tighten up. The influence dies, you lose access. So the most powerful law is this: you must play dumb, while seeing everything. Smile, nod. Let them think you're harmless. Let them believe you're lucky, naive, just confident. Meanwhile, you're dissecting every gesture, every word, every angle, in silence. Power isn't loud. It's not found in declarations or flexing intellect. Power is camouflage with precision beneath it. You cannot afford to be seen as one of those people. The second they sense you're a player, they play back. But when you wear the mask well, when you pretend you don't see the angles, when you seem like you're just drifting through life, that's when they reveal everything. That's when the power flips. Comment this now to mark the mindset shift. I know the game. I never show my cards. This is Psygorithm, where silence is strategy and invisibility is dominance. If this unlocked something in you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications right now. You're not here to be known. You're here to be felt without ever being seen. And the less they know you're playing, the more they become pieces on your board.